Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, May 2023. Virgo, this month think will be quite lucky for you because the most powerful house, the luckiest house for you is the ninth, like for everyone, and it's activated this month. Look at that. All those planets in your house of luck and in your house of divine providence or higher self. So, despite the eclipses, I think you're quite protected overall, unless you have something in Scorpio where the eclipse can hit you more personally. You have to check that in the personal transit calendar because I cannot know each one of you's individual horoscope, but the personal transit calendar I created for you calculates it personally for you, so it's way more personal reading than this one. But first, let's start with the eclipse, get out the more difficult news out of the way. The eclipse in your third house is with the South Node and opposite Uranus, and it's about endings, completions. Third house is one of the social houses of relationships, of connections with others, relatives, siblings, teammates, the people in your daily environment, acquaintances, and so on, mates, friends. So some of you might decide to clean up your social media profiles and just end like being on Instagram or end being on Facebook, or just clear up a few friends or ban or block a few followers or end connections with certain clients or associates, especially such ones that feel more toxic. Scorpio has this energy of predatory or toxic or something underhanded. You might find out certain things about someone in your life, relative, sibling, whatever, friend, or just acquaintance, that you're like, enough is enough, and you cut off, or they might cut you off. It can come both ways. Another way is like you can complete some karmic, relationship with someone, and it's time for it to end. On another level, it can mean that if you are working in a small team environment, for example, which is the third house, or with colleagues, or with collaborators, or with associates, you might be ending such a project, completing it, seeing the results of it now with this eclipse. Of course, in worst case scenario, in extreme cases, there can be some crisis that happens with siblings or relatives or relationships with them or in their life, some crisis reversals. That's especially if you have any planets there in Scorpio rather than just empty. If there is nothing in Scorpio, not so much, but it is light, still kind of a small possibility. Then also around the eclipse, be careful if you're taking any trips around the 5th, 6th, 4th, 5th, 6th. I'll be a bit more careful with trips around that time if I'm Virgo, because it's in the third house of driving or using any machinery and technology, because it's kind of, the mind is blinded and we lose our mind a little bit. It's the moon when it's eclipsed, and there can be some kind of a situation that's more stressful. Or if you're seeing relatives around that time, something can come to the surface, some secret, or there can be some more stressful situation, a bit of drama. It's a bit of drama there. Of course, the third house is the house of, we covered it, siblings, relatives, skills. I don't know. I think these are the major things to be aware of. The other important thing is this ninth house. Look how it's just it feels like the party is going on there. Everyone in the club. So Mercury is going direct there on the 14th, which means it's retrograde half of the month in your ninth house. It's giving you a different perspective of your life. The ninth house is a house of the higher perspective, the higher mind. So you can see a situation in your life from a higher perspective, from an alternative perspective. Mercury retrograde, you see it from a different way. You might rethink certain direction in your life now. You might be rethinking, is this the right education to go on? Is this, maybe I should change my major? Or maybe I should revise something that I studied from the past and come back to it, because there's something precious there that I need to brush up on, that I need to remind myself of. Maybe you come across some information or knowledge that you had before, and now you see it in a totally different way and light, and it makes sense to you, and it unlocks something for you, some aha, eureka moment. But it's definitely till the middle of the month. It's not brand new information. It might be an old teacher or an old course you've taken or an old inspirational figure you followed or an old or someone that you already know in your life that acts as this trigger for you to see something from a higher perspective or to help you imagine your future in a different way than how you've been able to imagine it till now. Also, it can also mean, while it's retrograde, that you travel to a foreign place you've been before to, or you reconnect with foreign friends from the past. But you are Mercury, so Mercury retrograde there, it's you getting involved with some higher knowledge or replanning the future or changing something, changing it suddenly, quickly. Plan B instead of plan A is plan B. So till the middle of the month, it's not so smooth because you need to adapt to changing circumstances, and that you have something planned, but it goes in a different way. But you're very flexible as a Virgo, and you're more willing to, to go with the flow. Also, some of you might be working on some educational project, teaching or learning something that you're editing, fixing, putting extra efforts with. Others might have important conversations with father figures or teacher or mentor figures that help them change their perspective on life. Or there might be some crisis in a relationship with a father figure that you're reviewing, re-examining as well. Or you might be just re-examining your beliefs. It's like, is this and something shifts your higher mind, something shifts in your perspective, because you're like, is this the right way I've been seeing things? Maybe I haven't been aware. So it's like reprogramming your mind, this Mercury is doing. And then when it starts moving direct, all such things improve and you start seeing the results of that. So if you've been working on some project, educational, higher knowledge, you start seeing the results of it. Or ninth houses, also if there were some complications with anything to do with foreign documents and papers or visas, when Mercury turns direct, everything improves. Any complications and delays of papers, communications, and so on gets improved after the 14th when Mercury turns direct. All right. But the other big event is that there is a lot happening in this ninth house. There might be travel happening for you, higher education, opportunities to grow or to learn something. Accept them. It is important for you. And then on the 16th, Jupiter enters your ninth house, and it's going to be there for 1 year till next May 2024. And Jupiter makes full trine aspect to your sign. Very lucky to have Jupiter sending a trine to you. You're protected the whole year from the middle of May onwards. You're protected the whole year. So I think you're going to start feeling so much better once Mercury turns direct on the 14th. So your head is clear. You're not in such kind of introspective mode anymore. Plus, Jupiter enters your sign, and it's like, wow, it's like a light is switched on in your life, in the dark room. And you see, you're not stumbling around anymore. In this 1 year, while Jupiter is in your sign, you'd realize that you'd find direction in your life. You'd realize you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Jupiter is coming out of a difficult house, the 8th house, where there might have been sudden reversals in life, albeit used for good and to expand and grow, but reversals, changes, even shocks and surprises for some of you, and things connected to death, rebirth, psychological transformations and traumas. It's intense. But Jupiter in the 9th house is like the light, is the reward, the light at the end of the tunnel. You get wings now. You're the butterfly now, rather than you're coming out of this cocoon period of where your body was decomposed and turned into mush. Your ego, whatever. It's a metaphor for that. The butterfly in the cocoon, your ego decomposing, but it feels like death. And now you come out and, oh my God, I'm a butterfly. I have wings. You're definitely gonna feel, for some of you, it might be very gentle, just like, I feel more optimistic suddenly. I feel good things are about to come. Some sense of dread disappears. I'm not fearful that something dreadful is. I feel positive. A sense of dread can remove, or fear, or some healing of a crisis, from a crisis, and hope and opportunities start appearing for you. Your mental health improves. This is the axis Actually, first the eclipse in the third house at the beginning of the month can put you a little bit in a more intense mental state, mental health. But when Jupiter enters after the 16th onwards, your ninth house, aspecting also the third, how you think, your high and lower mind, you would feel more positive. You would be like, I have Jupiter now in on this axis still, so in the ninth. So definitely the moment Jupiter entered there, I started feeling so much better, even a little bit before that. And Jupiter also, what does it rule? Let's see, it rules for you as a Virgo the fourth house, a family and home, going into the fortunate house. You see, there might be something fortunate happening, an opportunity presenting itself with higher knowledge to learn more about your roots, to learn more about history, to learn more folklore and anything to do with traditions, anything to do with cooking, with family, with home, so to improve the family situation in some way, or even to live abroad, place of living, fourth house, ninth house, foreign places, or to gain knowledge and higher knowledge about healing wounds from ancestral. Jupiter also rules your seventh house, Pisces, where you have Saturn there, so you're cutting off and you're intensely aware of what you don't like in your partner and what you don't want from a partner. But Jupiter, the ruler of the seventh, going into the ninth for 1 year, it's saying, despite Saturn, the planet of testing in your house of relationships, you'd have support because the planet of relationship goes into the house of luck. So you might have the ability to be more graceful with your partner, not just so judgmental with Saturn, to take the higher standing when it comes to your relationships and others. So if someone accuses you of something, for example, or is very harsh on you, it might be a client, seventh house, or it might be a partner, it might be someone else in your life. Jupiter in the ninth can help you be the bigger person and see things from a higher perspective and be forgiving, in some way. Plus, it can be good for marriage. Ninth house is one of the houses of committing to something bigger than you. The ruler of the seventh in the ninth is about committing on a path of faithfulness in marriage, while the Saturn in the seventh house is also another possibility for further commitment in a relationship by taking extra responsibility with another. So the next 1 year, it might be that. Or Jupiter also makes you more fruitful when it's in the ninth house, because it directly aspects your fifth house of children, directly aspects your first house. Jupiter is planet of fertility. So that can also be something that strengthens the relationships or makes it more meaningful as well to have a child. For example, Jupiter in the ninth house can also indicate opportunities to meet someone abroad or to form close bonds. Doesn't necessarily have to be relationships like sexual, but meaningful bonds, because it's the rule of the seventh house of other people, with others who are on the same path like you. The ninth house is the path, kind of like having similar belief systems, so you can form like a close friendship with someone from abroad or someone with similar belief systems, or together with your partner you can have a new ideal, something new to strive towards. The ninth house is goal, something you strive towards, something you idealize, a new ideal or a new project that you can get excited together with a partner, for example, whether it's a child or a business or something that makes you wake up and put more meaning and purpose in your relationship together. And of course, because Jupiter also rules your fourth house, it can have connotations of family, and settling or property. As well, the ninth house, Jupiter can indicate possibilities to travel, to get passports, documents in foreign countries, to relocate, or just to travel for enjoyment. It's just generally Jupiter makes you more lucky in the next 12 months. And whether you can decide to study something. When Jupiter is in the ninth house, fantastic time now to take a course or crash course or whatever, to pre-qualify for something. It will bring and it will open new professional opportunities for you. And once Jupiter moves into your 10th house, you can be on a new career path or expand the opportunities in your career in some way. But Jupiter in your 9th house now, whether you're self-educating yourself or taking courses or finding a teacher, this can be a great time to find a guru, a teacher, or inspirational figure. I found astrology when Jupiter transited my 9th house from Ascendant, something that gave me so much meaning, higher knowledge to learn. The next time Jupiter was transiting, again, my 9th house, this time from the Sun, I met my astrology teacher. So it's one of the best ones. So it's always finding a guide of some sort, finding someone you admire, finding a subject or object that inspires you, that directs you, that gives you purpose and meaning, or opens new opportunities in life for you. And as I said, especially this can be connected to home and family, or to the 4th house and the 7th house, or relationships and collaborations of sort. And if you do business partnerships, they can be fortunate, but of course, a personal partnership. But because Saturn is in your 7th house, you have to do everything lawfully, and you have to double check and triple check the people that you're doing promises and contracts with before that. But Jupiter guarantees that it will be more lucky, that it can be more fortunate for you. But just make sure, just to to make it very legally, to have the right rules in the contracts. Is it going to be a prenup, or is it going to be? Saturn likes rules, and Saturn likes it to be traditionally done. So thank you so much, Virgo. That's pretty much all of the most important events. Leave your comments. Let me know over the next 1 year how this Jupiter plays out for you.